Right, let's talk about political. I'll go into this a little bit because I don't want to focus too much on the PMC because this is a very niche area. Most people are not going to be part of this. They might be funding it, but they're not going to be part of it. Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about politics, Raj. Yeah. So political Raj, because people always ask me this, and I thought about this one, so I thought I might as well talk politics. Yeah. Raj. How does the Khalsa rule this country without practically? How could we take over this country practically to work with the Khalsa values? What do you guys think? Self-sufficiency. Okay, so we set up like maybe a couple of farms that are self-sufficient areas. Yeah, many people have thought about that.
Kind of a state within a state.
Yeah. Okay, good. And where we can do our own training, education, everything else. Yeah. And you can do that in this country. You can set up a farm. You can set up a self-educating community. You can set up your government free schools. Your kids can still be learning, right? You don't have to break any laws to do any of that stuff. Okay, it's perfectly possible. We could have our own dairy farm. We could have cows living happily. We could have our own kind of crops being grown. Okay, self-sufficiency. Okay, elusive fighting. People they're always talking about this stuff. Another thing for you guys though is that's not really taking over the political country, is it? Do you know how? It's funny. You know the Khalsa maths, yeah? Khalsa maths, 7 lakh se 1 lakh. So one, I guess 125,000, right? So now take this country, 50 million, 60 million people, divided by 125,000, and what you get is 500. Guess how many MPs there roughly are? About 500, maybe more. Yeah. So really, all you need to do is make Khalsa MPs. That's all you need to do. Make people who are Amritari, yeah, become in politics. They become elected. Now, why would people say, oh, it's not going to happen? Why wouldn't the public elect a Khalsa? Think about it. Trying not to be corrupt. Speak the truth. Serve the people. Yeah. Don't worry about politics, rich people. Don't worry about political manoeuvring. Don't worry about your career too much. Be attached to just serving the people. Do you know what? All of us would vote for the Khalsa MP. If it was truly living this light, who was tolerant of other people's religion, who actually thought before they acted, wasn't interested in just creating hate-mongering and giving speeches and all that kind of stuff, but actually did stuff, people of substance, of course they would get elected. Common person would vote for the Sikhs. I'm going to tell you this, right? I made that video in it about Lee Rigby and the attack, right? There were people in there, they were saying, stand for politics. Gore was saying, you should go into politics. Yeah, I'd vote for you. Yeah. The one about Boko Haram, same thing happened. This is just from talking, by the way. They said no action whatsoever. Yeah, I'm just sitting in my room making videos. Yeah, proper internet warrior. Yeah, and people are still saying I'll vote for you. Yeah, nothing. Just I'll vote for you. What if we actually started doing this stuff? What if in our local area, right, we started serving our community properly? Yeah. Like, for example, in this country, there's quite a lot of, gang crime. What if we started taking part? What if Sikhs were educating people about this stuff? What if we were in the prison services educating people against drugs and alcohol misuse? What if we had our own de-addiction clinics? What if we started becoming relevant to this society, as we should be? Jitthe assi hage hain, utthe assi Sikhi philaiye. Sikhi by me, Sikhi Raj, the values of Sikhi. Yeah? Not to convert people. But here we should be serving people. If we started doing this, the local person is going to be like, yo, I work for the Sikh. The Singhs are good, man. Gore loves Sikhs, by the way. I don't know if you realize this, yeah? Whenever we do prachar on the streets, yeah? They know what they say. If I wasn't an atheist, I'd like to be a Sikh. First thing they say. Second, they say, oh, you guys are the goodies. There was a lady, she goes, I was giving her leaflets. She goes, look, don't need to give a whole leaflet. You guys are the good guys, right? I was like, she didn't want to know too much, but she goes, but you guys are the good guys. And I was like, yeah, okay, look, let me just tell you through it a bit more. But yeah, you're right with the good guys. And I went to the whole leaflet, what Guru Sahib had done and everything else. And she goes, see, I told you, you were the goodies. Yeah. Average person just wants to have a very sort of simple understanding. Who are the good guys I can trust? Who are the guys I can't trust? And guess where we fall in? Always you will see, if we do Sikhi, we will fall into that part where you can trust these people. If we starting for politics, yeah, proper things, doing seva, cause, we will get elected. Yeah? And then, you've got Khalsa Raj in it. Because if you've taken over parliament with just sheer numbers, then you can do whatever law you want. And you can make laws that actually tax the bankers rather than support them. You can start making laws that support the common person and not the highest up of the society. You can bring about change through politics. And all you need is 500 people. 1.25 lakh se ek ladao. 500 people can take over this country. Guru Gobind Singh's hukam still applies then. Because then Maharaj says 1.25 lakh se ek ladao. Now one person is worth 125,000 people. Because the average population is 60 million, and yet 500 Sikhs have actually sorted the whole Raj out for them. And then Aki rahe na koi. No one will be opposed to the Khalsa ruling if they did this. If they live these values, people are like, yeah, great, Khalsa should rule the world.
India will stop trading with Britain.
They won't. They won't. You think that, but what will happen in India? Okay, political Raj in India. What do we need in India then? Over here, obviously, to get this Raj, we don't just need 500 brown Sikhs. Sorry to burst your bubble. What we need is Sikhs of all types. So then you would have to have a base of about 5 or 10 million Sikhs. At the moment there's about 800,000. Yeah, we need about 5 to 10 million. They're not going to come from Punjab. We can't import those guys in. They're no good to us. Yeah, they don't even integrate with the society we're in. Yeah, so we need to get people who are British to become Sikhs. Yeah, all the atheists, all the spiritualists out there that haven't got a religion or no title, those guys, we should go out there and do prachar to them. Tell them what Sikhi is really about, and they will come into Sikhi. Yeah, we've seen that in this country. There was even the other day, yesterday, there's some Benji on Facebook watched some of our videos, and she said to me, I like Sikhs, and what should I do next? I want to learn more. I said, find some Sangat and find some Seva to do. So I said, how about the Midlands Langar Seva team? Because he was in Midlands. I said, why don't you go join them? Yeah, you get together, they do Simran part, and then they go and do Seva. So yesterday she was there wearing a Midlands Langar Seva t-shirt, blonde hair, right? We don't have to judge her on her appearance. We don't say, now put a case here, now take Amrit. She's just here, happy to do Seva, happy to do some Sangat with Sikhs. And we need loads of monies. Without a doubt, yeah? We're not here to make 500,000 Amritaris or whatever out of the Gore. We just need loads of money, Gores, to become Sikhs. And stay money if they are doing, we don't have no problem. Just need loads of them. Yeah? And what will happen then is some of them will take Amrit. Just like in the Panth right now, most people are Munni and that cut their hair, and some of them take Amrit. Same thing will happen with the Gore. We don't need everybody who go out to become a Sikh take Amrit. We just need loads of Munni Gores, and some of them will take Amrit.
Yeah? Do you think that you could have okay, in theory, if the whole House of Parliament were taken over by Khalsa,
yeah,
inverted commas, would they all have to be Sikh or be Khalsa? Could they not be just Dharmi people?
No, I have no problem with Dharmi people getting in. Yeah, obviously we need to have more Dharmi people in charge. People vote for them. But remember, you vote for people. You vote for people, yeah? So they need to be those kinds of people that can actually make a change. In Guru Gobind Singh's army, obviously we had people that weren't Sikhs. But when it comes to Khalsa deciding its own policies, I'm very clear about this. Where the Khalsa is the ruler and decide its own policies, then there needs to be a Punj Piare who are Amritari Khalsa in charge. Yeah? So you may have a parallel state. You may have all the Khalsa in this country making rules and deciding upon what they should do as a Panth, and you might have then maybe 500 of those working in Parliament, yeah, or in the civil service. And there might be other people of other faiths in there, but the Khalsa have almost got like two rulers. They got the state which they serve, but also the Khalsa which they answer to as well. Yeah, and so obviously nobody can come into that leadership. The parallel leadership system. No one can come into this unless they're Amritari, because that wouldn't work. Not for us. We've seen what happened with that. Yeah, Ranjit Singh's Raj. Yeah, he promoted people of all types, but he didn't trust the Khalsa. He took power away from the Khalsa, stopped the Sarbat Khalsa meeting. Sarbat Khalsa used to meet every 6 months. Ranjit Singh said, "Well, there's no need. You've got our own Raj now." So in 1801 he came into power, and 1804 Sarbat Khalsa stopped meeting. So this was a problem for us. Because then we lost that every 6 monthly meet. We stopped deciding upon policies, and then as soon as we were disorganized, went away from that whole idea. So this was a problem. So the Khalsa would still meet every 6 months, even if there was 500 people in charge who were Amritari Khalsa in Parliament. We will still have to have this parallel process working, yeah, and our plan of action being executed. Somebody else had a hand up. Hanji Bhaji.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you know, when you're doing the trial,
Hanji.
you have like a designated person for a certain catchment area that you can direct, say, non-Punjabi people to.
We tried to do that. We tried to have a rep system across the country, become our basically rep. The problem has been is that the people who are reps, yeah, they're just keen to watch the videos, innit? They want to do something, but they're not really they haven't got a sangat around them to help them to do more stuff, and they become a bit isolated. And also, we haven't got a training plan. And as I said, the people in our community, they're not able to do anything. It's kind of like they're not feeble-minded, they're just unable to do anything. They're emasculated. You have to bring them up. They just don't feel, it's like having your hands tied. Have you ever had a dream where you can't do anything? You're like, oh. It's a bit like that. They just can't seem to do anything. Very few people are actually able to do anything in our Panth. It's because they've been stunted when they were 15 to when they're 30, they're stunted. And they can't do anything. So, you know, like I'll give you an example of what I mean by stunted. When we were in Sandhurst in the army, first year was training. Singh knows because he was there for a bit as well. In Sandhurst, they just make you follow orders all day long. You just do what you're told, right? But then after the first 3 months, they sort of ease off a little bit. Because they might make you too much into a soldier. You stop thinking, right? In the last term, they tell you very little as much as they can and make you do as much as you can yourself. So you stop, because in a minute you're going to become an officer and they've got to get your brain back. But the intelligence corps won't take you straight after Sandhurst. You're still not thinking enough. The intelligence corps, they say to you, after you finish Sandhurst, go some unit for a year and go and serve as an officer, get a bit of responsibility, start thinking like a human being, a clever person again, then you can come and join us back. And then we'll take you on. Because your brain is not working yet. You can't do anything. The problem with being just a foot soldiers and walking around doing stuff is that you never end up learning how to do anything. Yeah? So we've got a bunch of people in our community that can't think for themselves on a Panthic level. There might be program managers, there might be RT delivery managers, there might be all kinds of stuff in their own community, in their own sphere. Yeah? Put them in a Gurdwara, they become very ineffective. They don't know what to do. They don't feel they can stand up and talk. They don't feel because they're not empowered by Sikhi and Bani anyway, because as a Panth we don't have that much of that. But also, they're not able to stand up and say, like some Ksiana will say something rude to you, you won't be able to answer him back. Using examples from history. You just get offended and say, oh, forget it, and walk off. Somebody will criticize you at work, and you stand up for yourself. Somebody criticizing in a Sikhi environment, you will break down and you will walk away, you never come back. Benji had this the other day. Yeah? For the 1 minute silence, it was, it was our idea, we plugged it. Some people criticized it, and she almost crumpled. She's like, oh, no one's helping me. I was like, this is just part of life. You got to understand, the Panth is just like the society outside. They will criticize you. Yeah, you just stand and push back. You stand up and push back. So when people said, oh, the 5 minute thing, I just said, see the handle. Yeah? All your internet warriors coming up there telling me this. I said, this is something that works in a normal society. It's a good system, and we should need to do it. And the thing is what's happening in our community is we don't feel don't feel empowered to actually, talk to people. Like our people will stand in a Gurdwara, give out leaflets, and they'll just stand there, put the leaflets down on the side. They won't think I'll stand there on a Sunday and give it to each person, talk to them and say to Jaki, watch the channel. They feel just put it there. So we tried to set up a rep system to get people to come in. Unfortunately, our system was do street prachar. Do street prachar and then have an open day. This is what we made, a whole system. Like we made all the leaflets. You can see at the back I've got all the leaflets. Yeah, I'll bring some up. So you got the 3 facts leaflet in many different languages. Yeah, now it's about 12 languages. Then we've got the 10 questions booklet. Then we've got the AGB booklet. That's AGB leaflet. That's 3 things you could put on a desk. And then the leaflets about going on YouTube and watching stuff. So you could theoretically have a desk full of different things you could give out to people on the street. There's not one single street prachar team yet. Street prachar has been going on for 1 year. Apart from us, no one's doing it yet. We provided everything. The leaflet. People would try to do it on certain days. They say, come and do street prachar. I'm going to Nottingham. They say, please come on that day and do street prachar. They haven't figured out. The whole point was they do street prachar. They haven't figured it out. I made a video, how to do street prachar. My point in that video was, learn the videos. There's a script there. You can follow the script. Here's 20 examples of me talking to people with that script. Here's examples of other people using that script. Pick up the script, go and talk to people. Has anybody done it? No. Yeah, they tried it in a few places, but really, as a wide scale thing, it's not happening yet. So we're way behind many other groups, yeah? Also, we said, let's set up open days. The only people that did an open day in the street prachar so far is Derby. In Derby, they did street prachar using the 3 facts leaflet, they printed 5,000, and then they set up an open day at the Gurdwara. And the open day was very much about like simple things about Sikhi. The open day was supposed to be the 1-day course, which is also online, yeah? There's a 1-day course available, you can just watch it online. We said, look, just copy the videos and deliver it in your Gurdwara. What is Waheguru? What is Guru? What is a Sikh? And simple things like this. So that our people don't feel empowered to just take that and run with it. Yeah, it should be happening. We should have a system across the country of prachar. Effectively, what we should be doing as a community when it comes to educate is to educate people about Sikhi. Yeah, our people about Sikhi and other people about Sikhi, and then we should be educating them about the moral values of Sikhi. And then what we should be doing is like seva simran. Yeah, educate prachar karo bani da, and then kam karo shabad da. What Shabad is telling, do that as well. Yeah, seva karo in the community. So we need loads of Midland Seva, Langar Seva Society. We need loads of SWATs all over the country. Yeah.
You spoke yesterday about the UK Cup.
Yeah.
You're talking about this today.
Yeah.
How many Gurdwara are supporting yesterday's rally? And how many of them are willing to get together every 6 months, representatives from each one of these Gurdwara, to speak about the real issues that affect us here and to deliver results, as you mentioned, on a 6-month cycle? How many are willing to do that?
You can. I don't know the figure, but you can judge that by seeing how many Gurdwara are willing to do that in their own local community. How many Gurdwara every 6 months have a meeting to say, this is what we did for you in the last 6 months, and this is what we plan to do for the next 6 months. You can't get someone to represent themselves at a national level when they're in their own local community. They don't represent themselves. You got to start small, yeah. You got to be able to somebody who can work locally and then think large.
Isn't that what Sikh Council aim to do? So they've got 2 representatives of every Gurdwara in the UK,
Yeah.
which sitting on the Sikh Council. So they tried to do that.
Okay. Here's a little thing about Sikh Council, right? Where does the money come from? The majority of the money comes from Gurdwara subscriptions, yeah? They do get some wealthy individuals that fund them and stuff, yeah? But mostly from Gurdwara, yeah? Where does the membership come from? They do allow any organisation that's been around for 2 years to send members. Most of us happen to be Gurdwara. Okay. Decision making. Who makes the decisions? The committee, the decision making team, decision team tend to be what? Gurdwara members, yeah? Are our Gurdwaras actually effective? Majoritarily, they're not effective, yeah? So we're asking ineffective people to make decisions. And what are the problems that we've got? The problem we've got is ineffective Gurdwaras, and we're asking people that are ineffective to police themselves. Just look at it logically. Why the Sikh Council is not the answer we're looking for.
But not all of them are ineffective.
Some of them are effective, but as a majority, because of this system and because of the fact that Sikh Council is made up of so many members, and they all have to agree upon stuff, it's not nimble. This is the point I was making upon time on Friday. It's not a nimble organisation, and this membership is not necessarily made up of Amritari Khalsa. So you haven't got that Gurmat. Yeah? And we don't know who they are. How many of you guys can name me 5 members of Sikh Council? I can't name, I know 1 or 2 people, that's it. Somebody I heard was on it. There's no Punj Piare of the Sikh Council itself. Yeah, okay, yeah, but everybody's on it. Singh's on it, Fala Banda's on it, this person's on it. Who is there? Who is responsible? Who can stand up and say, we are the people responsible for Sikh Council. If we mess up, you can blame us. See, we've got power but no responsibility. It's the opposite. We need responsibility and no power. We've got no responsibility. No one say, I am the person responsible. You guys know, if something goes wrong in basics, I'm the person responsible. Right? Because majoritarily, whoever it is, if it goes on my neck, people so message the face saying, Paji, as if I'm the one who's checking all the messages, yeah? Yeah?
It would be good mail then, wouldn't it? The person, he's the chair.
He's the chair. If you ask him, are you responsible for everything the Sikh Council does? He goes, no. Because it's a council. Everybody, they don't take responsibility. There's the slopey shoulders straight with Teflon. They're going to say, it's not me, it wasn't me that was to blame. Somebody else did that decision, that wasn't me. Paji?
Do you think the National Punt Time Forum thing they have, is it once a year they do it? Do you think that's a...
Punt times all the time, but...
Yeah, no, they do it every week, right? When
Yeah.
they go to a different Gurdwara.
Yeah.
They do this thing.
Do they nationally one as well?
They do a national one where they get together.
Yeah.
Is that a platform
No,
to try
Punt
and
time is really
organise-
bad platform. I'll tell you what Panth
I
time.
think they done a really good one 2 weeks ago.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. It wasn't. I didn't think it was all that. Here's the reason why it wasn't all that. You had 3 topics, an hour and a half, 30 minutes per topic. What we're talking about one thing now here for 2 hours. We still haven't really delved into it. They do, and then there's only one person talking. They had 7 people on the panel, and they had about this. And then the told them 30% panel, 70% the sangat, right? So what happened is they had to give loads of time to the sangat. So what is the point of inviting a panel of 7 people? It's just they're never going to get to discuss their points in much more detail.
I'd say that's the best Punt time I've seen since.
Yeah, well that's the sad side, isn't it? Isn't that the really sad part about it? If that is the best Punt time, and everybody on the Punt time, like, Jagjit Singh came all the way from Leeds, yeah? Really, you need like him and one other person with a bunch of audience discussing everything, so you can really get to the depths of what he knows. He could give about 5 minutes in the whole plan to speak, yeah? So what we're doing is and then they say, that's a really important issue, we should have another Punt time about that one day. Or we should discuss this in more detail someday. But that someday will never come. Because it's always like, we should have more people. Then they said to me, the week after that, he said, come out to Birmingham. He said, come to Punt time. It's going to be a few people, he said, because he said he hated the fact there were 7 people in the panel. Yeah. So next time they had 6. Oh, and all they did Birmingham for 2 hours, drove up there, went to the thing and came back home at 2 in the morning, yeah? It was, again, the same thing. Fight to speak. Fight to get 1 or 2 sentences in. I was like, why? Why would you do this? Why did we do this banal stuff? It's just banal. Always in Cinco's, just take a sleeping bag. You go to Jar, take a sleeping bag with you.
Sometimes it's to provide a wider perspective, so you get 7 different people from different areas to get different perspectives on the same view.
In 30 minutes.
Or longer than that.
Yeah. Well, it was 30 minutes per topic on that day, and it tends to be on Punt. On that day, there was a whole thing on just one topic, right? All I'm saying is, we always surface level. We are always at surface level. We never delve deep. Because we don't delve deep off Shabad. We don't delve deep into plans. We never get to think about something too much detail. The whole point of this, like we're talking now, the Q&A stuff, this is about going deeper. So how can it actually work? Make it real in your head, not just like a theory.
I'm not saying, I don't think it's the solution, right? I kind of agree with you on that point. But when it comes to doing that self-organisation of the Khalsa, is it not?
Well, that was your question, isn't it? How many Gurdwaras are your Gurdwara? Okay.
Yeah. So isn't it worth trying to use that platform to try and turn it into something better? So it's not. I'm not saying it's the solution now. I'm not saying it's set up for the right thing now, but use that and.
The Sikh Council really.
Not Sikh Council.
Okay, but
the Punt time thing. You know,
the Punt time. Well, I don't think they should be on camera. I think there's going to be a Punt Sarbat Khalsa. It doesn't have to be on camera, because people are going to, like, things are rowdy, innit? Yeah, add them all together, you get a lot of people shouting their stuff. Yeah, that don't need to be, because the average person can tune and go, oh man, these lot are arguing. What is the family? And then it's a family meeting. You do get people shouting out, spotting off, yeah, and holy, because they're trapped in that room and they can't leave until they come to some kind of decision. Then people start becoming more sensible. The Punt time in Coventry, we had that. Don't Punt time, but punting meet. It took a long time for it to get to some kind of decision, yeah, right? So people do want to spout off a lot, yeah, and so therefore you don't need to have it televised. What you need is a last bit televised when they say this is what we decided, and we're all agreed. Brilliant, sounds decisive, looks good on TV, yeah. You don't need the rest of the argument beforehand, yeah. Laundry inside, yeah. Anji.
I have to be really honest. Like this whole evening has just really confused me. I don't know what the purpose of. I'm kind of lost. Like, where are we heading? What is the conclusion to this, or what should we be thinking about now? What can we do? What are the audiences that should be involved in these discussions? Because you're saying that it should be closed with Amritadis and Punj Piare. Yeah. I understand that part, but then why are we here?
No, that's fine.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm completely lost. I've got no idea what I'm supposed to be doing now.
Okay, I think we're still here. I have to, in a way, as a Khalsa, I have to convince you lot that the Khalsa is your guru. The Khalsa can actually do this stuff if it gets together. A lot of people lost faith in the Khalsa. They go, oh, Khalsa ne ki karna hai. Yeah. They laugh at Amritadis. A lot of people say, "Tusi Amritadi banna, tara jani hona." They don't think of the Khalsa as their guru. That's what people nowadays, they think Amritadis is like why would you want to do that for? I'm just talking average people. A lot of people do have Sharda and they have a lot of pyar for the Khalsa, but average people are like, they laugh at the Amritadis. So we've got a problem of leadership. But also, we've got people in this room that might be money right now that are going to be part of the future Punj Piare, right? Because they haven't got anything to believe in. Because they don't think the Khalsa can do this. So somebody's going to get this and they're like, yo, that is something that I agree with. Like I went to Toronto and there was a Singh there and he was totally munna, right? Another Penji there, she was like totally munni. After the talk, I talked about like get involved. Get involved with your Panth, do something. We did this thing called inspire to act, something, I don't know, it wasn't seek to inspire, it was something, it was like inspiring activism it was called, the course, yeah, like a 4-hour course. They both took Amrit. I was very surprised. They both took Amrit. I thought it was going to take them a long time. Now they're involved in stuff. Yeah, you don't know who's going to take Amrit next. It's about educating people how the system works, how it should work, and then hopefully they want to get involved as well, because you can get part of this. Yeah, this will happen one day. Yeah. Now, what should you do? Firstly, you should get involved in educating people as well. Tell people this is how the Khalsa should work. Shout about it from the rooftops. Tell people the Khalsa should be working this way. Our main problem is we haven't got Punj Piare in charge. Our main problem is the Gurdwara should be around Punj Piare. A lot of people don't know this part. How many of you guys before today had walked into Gurdwara and said, where's the Punj Piare? Had you thought about that in your head? There should be a Punj Piare. A lot of people don't think that in our community. They get confused by this. They don't think there should be Punj Piare. They think committee is perfectly fine. That's all they've ever seen. That's all they've ever known. Everybody thinks Vajji are fine because it's all they've ever seen. I was surprised to learn that Vajja didn't exist in Guru's time. Yeah? It's seen as a low-class sing-nos. It's seen as a low-class musical system. Seen like, sorry, you look like the other guy from Birmingham who's really good at Kirtan. So I got confused for a second. People don't know that this is not the way that we used to do things. The way we used to do things is this way and the proper way, yeah? So we've got a problem of education. So now what I would do for you, if you want like a action plan, what each person should do, is firstly understand that the Panth is not broken and will never be fixed. The Panth can be fixed. Mother says, Bani, ajre kuch bigre nahi. Nothing has been ruined yet. We can still do this. Yeah? We tried it a little while ago, but we messed up the system, but we can still do it again. Yeah? Nothing is gone. Secondly, is that we must educate the general populace about this is how it should work, why they should accept the Khalsa as being the Guru, and we must educate the Khalsa into understanding how they should work. So some of you guys here are part of the Khalsa, so I'm telling you, I'm trying to bring this system to the fore. And about compromise. The second part is some of you guys might be thinking about becoming the Khalsa, but you won't join it because you think, yeah? So then maybe you can join up and you can help to implement the system. Part of the change, be part of the change. Yeah? The third thing is, if you see the system happening, and it happens, and then don't be against it. Be like, they're finally doing it, well done. This is the way it's going to work. So the average Sangat needs to support the system as well. But maybe when we do the Panthik meet, if we call it, then you turn up. And 10 other Amritais turn up as well. So you should go. This is how it should work. But remember, it's not just you lot watching this video. As you all know, we're a YouTube channel. Yeah? Other people are watching this video as well, online. And they're learning about it as well. Right? They might be inspired in their little areas like Toronto, Vancouver, and they might be in California. They might say, we should set up a little Panthik meet here. And have a little Sarbat Khalsa of our local Sangat. And that's exactly how it should work. Local Sangat, Sarbat Khalsa, Punj Piare. From the Punj Piare, you can send another Punj Piare up to the bigger. So you have like the main, and every local area has a Punj Piare as well. Ideally, London should have Punj Piare, yeah, or West London. Every Gurdwara has a Punj Piare. Every area should have a Punj Piare. And then above that, so it's a whole organisation of people. Yeah? And they're all subservient to the Takht, the UK Takht. We should have a UK Takht. And then we can actually start to do stuff. This Panth has so many resources. I mean, we were talking about this last night at the Gurdwara. How many of you guys give 10% to your Gurdwara? My hands down. 10%. If...
Do you give 10% to charity?
Okay. How many of you give 10% to charity? Okay. Now, Guru Maharaj says, save kari inhi ki pavat. I love to serve the Khalsa. Maharaj says. So actually, the Daswan should go to the Gharib, I agree with you. But really, what you would want is people to give at least 5% to the Khalsa to say, administer the Sangat. Really, 10% is minimum. So once the Khalsa organizes itself, it's going to have access to far more resources than the current Gurdwara have. Because the Gurdwara are doing lena dena with you. They only charge you for stuff that you pay for. Yeah, Akhand parts, Sukhni Sahib parts. You only give money to Gurdwara if you've got to go there for a wedding or something and you know you've got to pay up. Most of us don't just give happily, cushily because we see work happening. So actually the Gurdwara doesn't get 10% of the Sangat's Chadawa, of the Sangat's Daswand. They don't give it because they don't trust them. If this system worked and it was trustworthy, most of us lot would give money to this. So do it, here's some money. Why do Babas and Mahapurukhs get so much money? On the way we're buying kirpa, people are trying to buy kirpa, but also because people trust them. You know what to do. Yeah? There's no trust. Baji, you had a point.
You had a question on that one. So, you know, if Khalsa, or when Khalsa gets right, what about non-Sikhs? Would they get taxed for this one, or is it just?
No, the way I would see it works is you have a political ruling system, and then you have an administrative system, right? So the money that we pay in taxes should be about administration charges. Yeah, the money given to Khalsa is always voluntary. There's administration charges, so you have road tax and all this kind of stuff. Those are supposed to be for administration. So what we should be giving money to the government is because the government's doing our service, doing admin and all that kind of stuff. We've got civil service. That's just part of your taxes that you would pay. So that's why Daswand is sort of separate from taxes. That's why I say take Daswand from the money you get in your pocket after taxes. Because okay, the government might not be so efficient, and the money you give to them isn't really actually helping to pay for taxes. They're going off the wrong stuff. But really, it's supposed to be your administration charge for living in this country and having access to the services like lighting and roads and all that kind of stuff, and safety and police. But separate from that, you need a political system, yeah, which is meant to the Khalsa system, and therefore there, the Khalsa gets voluntary donations. So that's why it's separate from that.
I was just going to say, you talked about Punj Piare, just go back to your point you started off talking about Daya and Dharam.
Yeah.
And is it a coincidence that the first two Piare were by Daya and Punj Dharam?
There's no coincidence there. Yeah. Hanji?
This is the point I wanted to make.
Yeah.
Maybe
I was going to just... So the Punj Piare, they should have come with a characteristic as well. Something they bring to the party. You know, you need to have different types. You got Himmat, it's very different from Daya. You know? So you should have people that are a little bit more sort of like want to get stuff. Somebody who's a bit more, you know, more seva. So the thing is that it's like the five fingers. They're different types, different. You know, they all have a different function, but then they work together. So every Pyara doesn't have to be exactly a clone of the other one. Different qualities, and they should start. As I said to you, the Khalsa values start from Daya and Dharam. So there should be people that are brave. There should be people that are compassionate. They care. There shouldn't be people that are cold-hearted. But there should also be people that are actually able to do stuff. Yeah, not people that have like. They should have a track record of actually success in whatever they're doing, whatever they bring to the party. Yeah. Otherwise, you'll have people that are at the top, but they can't cope with the responsibility. Have you ever had been given like a big job that you're like, I don't know if I can cope with this? Yeah, it sort of frightens you. Yeah. Well, okay, fine. A little bit of fear is good, right? But if you, some people collapse under that fear. They're going, like it's exams next morning and you're sitting there on Facebook. Yeah? Why is that? You kind of want to cope with this exam. It's like, just distract yourself. Yeah? So you need people that can actually look at that problem and not get just overwhelmed by it, and just make a plan, just go with it. Trust Maharaj. If we make a plan, it's long gurmat, and we do what we can, Maharaj will help us. Remember, this is Sikhi, is not like about our own kirpa, it's Guru kirpa. Yeah? So as long as we do the best that we can, Guru Maharaj will help us. Firstly, the best has to be guided by Gurbani, and secondly, has to be guided by the Guru's actions. Yeah? So if we've got Punj Piare who are educated in Bani, educated in Itihas, then they will make a plan that comes up and is congruent with the Guru's teachings. And then we'll all fall behind it. Trust me, I believe, I don't know if you agree, I believe the Panth is looking for leaders. I myself am looking for these Punj Piare to step up. Koi to hove, but we can believe in, we can follow. Yeah? We haven't got that right now, so we flounder. Yeah? We need this and we need to bring these people up. I want to make a final point. People say the Punj Piare will step up by themselves. They won't step up by themselves. They've got nimrta. Most are not going to put themselves forward. See, we should be able to. It won't happen that way. Plus they're from different Jathebandis probably. So, we need to go and find the Punj Piare. Talked about this before. Guru Amardas Ji Maharaj left the Panth and went away. And Baba Buddha Ji was saw the sign saying you have to break down, you can't even come through this door. So they broke the wall down to come and find the Guru. Guru Angad Dev Ji left as well. Sikhs have had to go and find the Guru when the Guru was not available. The caste is our Guru, we need to go and find that Guru now. Yeah, we'll have to organise this Panthik meet. We'll have to go and find people and say, look, to see Punj Piare bano. Yeah, minta karke, and step them up and then say, now you make leadership decisions. But they might not even know how this works. So we're baby steps. We need to be a bit more sort of, tolerant in our first mistakes that we make. This system might not even work properly for the first 10 years. Baby steps, yeah? But we've got to start as we mean to go on. This is the thing. We've got to start as we mean to go on. We can't start, which is why I think the Sikh Council thing, you can't develop it further because it's already got a constitution which is not congruent with the Punj Piare system. Yeah? You can't really develop that. You have to break it first. So you may as well start from this system, Sarbat Khalsa meeting. Not everybody can attend a Sikh Council meeting. If you're Amritdhari, you can't just turn up and say, I'm part of the Khalsa. They say, sorry, this is not that kind of meeting. Yeah? You know that, right? So it's not, they don't have a Sarbat Khalsa in the first place. They don't have a Punj Piare system. And the Punj Piare are not necessarily what we would think of Punj Piare. These guys got to know their Bani account, they got to be Rayatwan Sikh, they got people that are respected for their Sant side as well. You don't have to have that in a Sikh Council meeting. Manveer Singh was telling me once how he objected to some person who's going to get on the executive council who was not Amritdhari. And people were looking at him like, why are you objecting? Was that because we've got to have some kind of minimum line? And they were like, why? Why is that? And like when I was in Birmingham on the Panth time on Friday, some uncle ji got us asked, and he was supposed to be some big guy in the Khalistan movement. They said, would it be possible for a Hindu Prime Minister? And I was like, no. He said yes, and I said no. I said it can't be possible. Because Khalsa Raj has got to be headed by the Punj Piare. You know what? And I made this point yesterday night as well. In this country, people wouldn't care if there was a monkey in charge. If the Prime Minister was a monkey, people wouldn't care. As long as they got to go about their normal life, trade, commerce, live, education, everything was sorted, they wouldn't care if you put a baboon in the chair, put a hat on him and say Prime Minister. No one cares. People mostly just want to have a normal life and live without being troubled. So don't think that the Khalsa is in charge, people are going to be revolting, how dare the Khalsa is ruling over us, I'm a Christian, I'm a Hindu. No way. Long as they get given the freedom to live their life normally and they're not being persecuted, they'll be like happy, chardi kala. They don't care. Remember that, yeah? Nikki, we should be worried about that. People were happy. Ranjit Singh's Raj, most of the people in his Raj were not Sikhs. Percentage wise, it was mostly Hindus and Muslims. But he was the king. Yeah? We can do the same thing for ourselves. We don't have to worry about that part. Okay, ji, finish off there. If I made any mistakes, please forgive me. Any questions you guys have, obviously you can carry on afterwards. But until then, Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
Vaheguru